Alright folks, thanks for coming. Today we're gonna continue graphing the linear equations in two variables, but today we're gonna be using slope-intercept form. The slope-intercept form. So we're still dealing with slope and we're still dealing with graphing, but we're gonna do it a little bit different. Like I said yesterday, we're gonna cover all those problems we did yesterday. I think there are 7 problems. We're gonna cover all of them. We're gonna go ahead and use the slope-intercept form to show you how you can produce those graphs. And then we're gonna do more. We're gonna also do more problems, not just that 7. I think after that I have about 5 or 6 other problems I'm gonna deal with in this video. Okay. Now before we continue, please subscribe to my channel, like and share this video, leave comments or questions under the video. Alright, so let's before we actually kick it off, we'll have to talk about what is the slope-intercept form. We need to understand what that means. Alright, here is the slope-intercept form. Again, it's slope-intercept form of linear equations in 2 variables. Okay, that's what it looks like there. This form is y equals to m times x plus b. Okay, the m is the slope. Okay, the m is this represent the slope of the line, and then b represent the y-intercept. Okay, remember we dealt with y-intercept before when we were graphing the linear equations in 2 variables using x-intercept and y-intercept. Basically, y-intercept, right? Y-intercept is where x is equals to 0. So this thing here, this b, is at this point, x equals to 0 and then y equals to b. That's all that means. Okay, so you need to keep that in mind. It just means x is equals to 0 and y is equals to b. That's all that means. Okay, just keep that in mind. And then we're also gonna use the idea of a slope is equals to rise and run. Don't forget that. Rise is the vertical, right? Rise is the vertical, right? Vertical line. And run is the horizontal line. Don't forget that. Okay, so we're gonna use all these concepts. So basically what we're doing is you're given an equation, you're gonna try to put it in this form. You try to put it in this form, and then you use the slope and the y-intercept. Once you get those 2 things, you use them to draw a line. Okay, so I'm going to show you how to do it. The idea of rise over run is also important in doing this. So you see, like I said, we're going to do all the examples we did yesterday in the video yesterday, and then the same examples were used in the video before yesterday. So we're going to use those examples, but I'm going to also give you more examples. I think about 6 of them more. So let's go. Now this is the first example. You've seen this before, but I think you also seen the equation. This is the equation that represent this graph. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna use the slope-intercept form to determine the slope, and then we'll use rise and run to reproduce this. I will show you. I'm just going to show you how to reproduce the graph. The graph is already there, but I will show you how you can reproduce it. Okay, using paper and the pencil and the ruler. Okay, so the slope-intercept form is like this. Remember, it's m times x plus b. Okay, now if you compare the slope-intercept form, you see y. Now you see right there is m and right there is b. So basically you have m is equals to half. Basically, the equation of this line is already written in slope-intercept form. That's all. That's the way it was written, okay? And then b in this case is 3, right? And you know it's y, okay? And then x is equals to 0. So what that means, you have x is equals to 0 here, and you have you have y equals to 3, right? It's right here, okay? So forget about 0. You know, it won't help you draw the graph. So you forget about that one. We're gonna use this point here, 3. Sorry, this point here, y equals to 3. We're gonna use it, and then we'll have a slope. Remember, don't forget the slope is rise over run, okay? So that's where we're gonna use that idea. And then since you have one point which is right here, this point, like we normally say, this point is actually 0, 3. That's that point. So you have one point, and then you have you use the slope. Slope, there is one rise. Rise is 1, run is 2. See, that's the thing. See, that's his run, that's his rise. So you look at that. Run, you have to be able to determine that run is 2, rise is 1, okay? So then you just use that information. You come here, you start from this point, right? And then rise is 1. So you count 1. You end up here. Okay, you go from here to here. That's 1, okay? And then what is run? Run is 2. Run is 2. So all those numbers are positive. 1 is positive, 2 is positive. So you count 2. So that means you go 1, 2. See, you line here. You know, this is 1, this is 2. You line here. Now, once you have these 2 points, this point and this point, you put a ruler on them. Once you put a ruler on them, you produce this graph. The graph you see there. See, that's the idea. You see, that's how you use that information to produce the graph. You see, we just use the slope, and then we use the the y-intercept, and we were able to produce the graph. Okay, I'm just showing you how to reproduce that graph. So just think about it carefully. If they give you equation like this, that's what we just did, plus 3. By looking at that equation, you can reproduce a graph. That's what we just did here. You can reproduce the graph of the equation using the slope and using the the y-intercept. So this is very useful when you do applications. So we're gonna do more example. Let's go to example number 2, I believe. Let me see. Yeah, it's right here. Example number 2. We did this before. See the equation there. This is the equation of this graph. So again, what we're gonna do, we're gonna use that equation to reproduce the graph. But before we do that, you can get the equation in this form. Before we do that, we're gonna put it in the slope-intercept form, right? Remember that the slope-intercept form is like this: m times x plus b. We know what b is y-intercept, m is the slope. So we're gonna put this given equation in that form. To do that, we'll move things around. We'll say 2y is equals to minus 10, right, minus 4x, okay? Because I moved 4x over. So I can rearrange that to look like the slope-intercept form. So we'll put 4 here, 4x minus 10. We didn't change anything. We just moved things around. And then we say y equals, so we divide by 2. So minus 4x over 2. Alright. Minus 10 over 2. Okay, see it? And then you simplify, you get minus, what is this, minus 2x, okay, minus 5, So the y-intercept is 5, the slope is -2. You see that, right? Because now you compare with this one. So the slope is -2, and the y-intercept, right, is at y equals to -5. Okay, so you see that, right? But check this out. It's more profitable, it's better in visualizing stuff to write this as write the slope. Just put 1 below it. He didn't change anything. -2/1. You see, we can write that we didn't change anything. So we use the point given. What is that point given? Is right here, -5. That point is 0, -5. Okay. Obviously we got a negative slope. We know that the line is negative. We're just trying to reproduce this line using the information we have here. So we'll start at this point here. All right. We'll start there, and then we'll say, you see, -2 is on top, and the 1 is in the bottom. Don't forget that represents rise and run. All right. That's what this thing here represents. Okay. So we'll start from this point, and if we start there, then we're gonna go, oh Lord, we're gonna go negative. We have to go negative, 2 negatives, right? We have to go 2 steps down because it's on. Let's stretch this. Let's stretch that, and we'll say this is like. Let's say this is -7. Okay, so we'll have to stretch that like that. Yes, I wish I made that. I wish that is a little longer. Let me see what we can do. Yeah, okay, no problem. It doesn't matter. Well, so if we start from here, we'll go 2 steps down. So we'll go 1, 2. We'll land at -7. Okay. So we'll land at, then we gotta go positive. See, we gotta go. The run is positive. Now we just did the rise. The rise is -2. So we kind of 1, 2 downwards because it's negative, and then we'll have to go positive to the right. You see that? So we'll go 1 positive to the right. See that? Actually, the graph goes like that. So we'll go here. So once we get this and get that, we'll put our ruler there, and then we can reproduce this graph. That's what we just did. Once you put your ruler there, you can reproduce this graph. So I hope you guys see that. It's not that difficult. Just try to think clearly what I'm saying. You will see that. Okay. Let's do example number 3. Maybe this time we will be a little bit. Yeah, we got a little bit more space here. Example number 3. Now we have to put it in the slope-intercept form before we can do anything. That's mx plus b, right? So we'll rewrite it. 2y is equals to -x plus 4. Okay. And then we remove, divide both sides with 2. Then we get y equals to, let me see, 1/2 minus 1/2 x, okay, plus 2, because we're dividing both sides by 2, right? So if you compare this to that, then you see that slope is equals to -1/2, okay? And then the b is basically 2, right? Which is y, okay? Y when x is 0, right? You see that, right? So we take this point. This point here is 0, 2. We take it and we use the idea of, remember this is equals to rise and run. You see what we're doing? So let's find that point. That point is 0, 2. It's right here. 0, 2, okay? So right here. And then we use the idea of rise and run. Look at the slope, is a -1 on top. That's rise. So if we stay here, then we'll come down 1. We'll go from here. That's 1 right there. Okay, the run is what? The run is 2. So you go 1 here and you go 2 here. See it? Okay. So you count 2, you land there. Then you take a ruler, you draw. If we draw the graph, it will just be like that. This graph there, some I drew before. So I hope you guys getting what we're doing. We're just trying to reproduce that graph. We're trying to reproduce it, you see. So that's what we did. Okay, so let's move on to example number 4. Again, these are the same examples we used in the previous videos. Okay, see, look at this. Okay, this equation here produced the graph here, and compare it to slope-intercept form, which is mx plus b. Okay, and then you see that's b, and that's the slope. So the slope is equals to -5/2. Okay, and then b, which is y, is 5. So this is the point is 0, 5. Okay, so what happened? We use that point. What is that point? 0, 5. 0, 5 is here. We use it. We're just trying to reproduce this graph. Just keep that in mind, using the slope-intercept form. And then see the slope is rise over run. Okay, the rise is -5. So if you stay here at this point, then you have to count, you have to go downward because the number is negative. So you count downward 5 of them. Okay, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you end up here. That's the rise, right? The run is 2, and it's +2. So you go like that, 1, 2. Okay, basically this is what you had. So you have this line, that dot there, that dot there. That's all you need. You put your ruler on them. If you put your ruler, then you draw the graph, so you reproduce that graph. You see that? That's all we're doing. We're reproducing the graph using slope-intercept form. See? Okay, so the idea is this equation is packed with a lot of information. That's what we're trying to show. With that equation, you can draw the graph, right? You can determine whether the slope is negative or positive. In this case, the slope is negative. See how it's like? If you look from left to right, you see, if you put truck, they are looking from left to right. The truck will be heading downwards, right? So negative slope will be slanting downward. Okay, now we're on example number 5. Okay, you see the equation of that line there. Again, what we're trying to achieve is use the equation to reproduce the line, but we're gonna put the equation in the form of a slope-intercept form. Okay, that's what we're trying to do. So this is how we're in example number 5, and don't forget what the slope-intercept form look like. So right there, y equals to m times x plus b. That's what it looks like, and b is the y-intercept, and the m is the slope. So you notice that our equation is not in that form. We'll have to put it in the form of slope-intercept form. So we'll start by moving things around. We'll say 2x is equals to 3y. Okay, let's shuffle. Let's bring 3y to the left. We're not gonna change anything. 3y is equals to 2x. Okay, you see that? Okay, so we want to get rid of 3 that is used to multiply y. That way we can isolate y like that. So then we divide both sides with 3. Then we say y is equals to 2 over 3. You see that? X. There is a 0 here, but you don't need it. So let's notice that b is equals to 0, and then slope is equals to 2/3. See that? So that's the slope right there. So basically this point is 0 because x is 0, then b is 0. I mean y is 0. Okay, so you start, see right there, you start at this point. That's the first point you need to draw the graph, to reproduce that graph. Okay, so then you're gonna use the information given up in the slope. Don't forget that is the same thing as a rise over run. Okay, so then rise is 2, run is 3. So let's say we'll start here. Let's do rise first. Both of them are positive numbers, so we gotta go in the positive direction. Rise is 2, so we'll go 1, 2. You see that? See that? So that's 2. We'll land over here. So we're gonna from 2 we'll continue. Run is 3, so we'll count 3. 1, 2, 3. See, we'll land right there on the graph. See that? So with this point here and this point here, you put your ruler, and then if you put your ruler there, you reproduce this graph right there. That's what we're trying to achieve. We achieved it. See? So we're trying to use slope-intercept form to reproduce the graph, which we just did. And then we also use the idea of rise and run. Okay, so the number 5 is done. So we'll go to number 6. So see, if you pay attention to the information given you, there's no problem. You see, number 6 is a vertical line. And remember what we said, vertical line, the slope is undefined, right? But let's see if we can determine that using the equation given us. Remember, the slope-intercept form is like that. Mx plus b. Okay, so we'll try to put this equation in that form. Okay, basically notice that there's no way to put that equation in the slope-intercept form. I mean, we can say x is equals to 4, right? And then that's this line here. So basically this is if you see right here where it touches x as is 4, if you go to the left, you notice that y is 0. Okay, so that equation when y is 0 is like that. Mx, that's the slope-intercept form. When y is 0, it doesn't really give us a lot of information. It doesn't give us a lot of information. So I mean, we can write that equation as, let me see, it's written like 0 is equals to x, right, minus 4. Okay, so this is it. I mean, b is 4, slope is can you say slope is 1? No, I don't think so. There's no slope. Whenever you have for you to say slope is 1, you have to have y. Y has to be there. I mean, if you had y equals to x minus 4, and then you can say slope is 1 somewhere here, right? Since y is 0, there is no slope. Slope is undefined, okay? So that's the only thing I can say there. So whenever you have a vertical line that the slope is undefined, you just draw a line through the point right there like that. The slope is undefined, so we'll leave it like that. Alright, the next example 7, is a horizontal line. How do we reproduce that? Compare it to slope-intercept form, which is mx plus b. Okay, so we can write the given equation as y equals to 5 plus 0. See? Then we can say b is equals to 0, and the slope, you can't say the slope is 5 because there is no x. See, there's no x there. So basically the slope is 0. Remember we talked about this before. When you have a situation like this, the slope is 0. It's nothing you can do. It's a horizontal line. You just draw that horizontal line like that through that point, through 5. You draw it like that through 5. That's all you can do. It's a horizontal line. There's no slope. The slope is 0. M is 0. No slope. Okay. So these are those 7 examples we did. We did these before. So let's do more examples. Okay. Okay. Look at this example here. Is you're given that equation. What we have to do, put it in this form, slope-intercept form, which is mx plus b. So how do we do that? We'll try to isolate y. So we say 2y is equals to minus 4x plus 20. Okay, and then we divide by 2. Then we say y is equals to minus 4 over 2x plus 20 over 2, okay? And then we'll simplify that. We'll have if we simplify that, we'll have minus 2x, alright, plus 10. You see that, right? So y is equals to, that's what y is equals to minus 2 plus 10. Don't forget, you can write minus 2 as 2 over 1. So you can say the slope is minus 2 over 1, okay? And then you can say the y-intercept is 10, okay? And don't forget that is their x is equals to 0. So you have 0 and 10 as the y-intercept, okay? So using this information, this thing and this slope, then we can develop our own line. See, the problem we saw before, I drew the lines already, but now we're gonna draw it ourselves. So let's what we're gonna do. The best thing to do, let's draw a little line here. We'll draw the Cartesian coordinate. Okay, we'll draw it like that. We'll draw it like that, okay? And then we make each point 1 unit like that. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I keep going. Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So we do all that, right? So once we do that, look at the y-intercept is at x equals to 0. That's why this is x, this is y, okay? This axis is y. Okay, so it's at 0 and the 10, so which is right here. Okay, 0 and 10 is right here. I don't know why I put that. Okay, so you go from 0, it's right here. So you got 1 point there. This gives us that point there. And then we got the slope. The slope is negative 2 over 1. So we'll start at this point here. We want to create another point. That way we can draw the line. So because the slope is negative on top, is the rise. This is the rise and this is the run, okay? The rise is negative 2. From here, you count 2. 1, 2. So it's negative here. You count, you count down right here, 2. And then the run is a positive 1. So you go here, it's right here. Just you count 1. So we got 2 points down, this point here and this point here. So you put your ruler, you draw a line through those 2 points. The line will go like that, you see? It will go like that. With your ruler, it will be straight, you see? So the examples we did before, the lines were already drawn, see? So this is a negative. You notice if you look from left to right, it's a negative slope. Of course, we'll have a negative slope right here. So that's how you do that, man. See? You just compare it to slope-intercept form, you get the slope, and then you get the y-intercept, and then you're ready to go. You got two things to work with to draw the graph. Okay, that's all that it is, man. Not more than that. All right, look at this example. You are given an equation like that, and then we want to transform it to the y-intercept. The slope-intercept form, which is y equals to mx plus b. So we'll start by rearranging stuff. We'll say 2y is equals to, we'll move 8x to the right side. It's 8x minus 18. You see that? And then we divide both sides with 2. Say y is equals to 4x minus 9. You see that? You see it, right? Basically, it's in the slope-intercept form. Compare with that one. If we compare with this one here, you have m is equals to 4. We can write 4 as 4 over 1. We didn't change anything. And then the y-intercept is minus 9. Okay, so that's basically 0. This means x is equals to 0, y is equals to minus 1. Okay, so we explained that before. So we use these two information, slope and this information here, and then we can get the graph drawn. That's what we've been trying to achieve, right? So we'll draw the Cartesian coordinates. This is y-axis here. This is y. This is y-axis right here, y. And we'll go like that. Y-axis. And then this is x-axis here. X. Okay. Alright, so we'll put the point 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, okay? And then we'll put the negative, since we're gonna work with negative over there. We put negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Actually it's y. Why is the negative? Let me see. Yeah. So we're gonna put let me see, 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So this is negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, negative 10. See right there. So this is negative y-axis, and this is negative x-axis. So that's all basically what we need. So the point we're gonna plot is 0 and negative 7, y negative 7. So that point is right here, negative 7. And let me change the color. It's right here. That's the point right there. So we got that point there, right? And then we use the slope. We use run and rise. See, the slope is 4 over 1, which is something as a rise over run, right? So rise is 4, run is 1. They're all positive. So we start here. If we start here, the rise is 4. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4. See, we'll end up here. We'll end up here, right? If we end up here, then we'll do the run positive 1. So we'll go here. So basically, we'll have this point here, and we'll have this point here to draw the graph. Okay? So you put your ruler there, and then you draw the graph through those 2 points, okay? So it's gonna look like this. If we have a ruler, it's gonna look like that, straight line like that. Sorry. So you're gonna go through those points. You only need 2 points to draw a graph, a straight line. You just put your ruler, make sure the ruler is on those 2 points. See? So this is actually, it's not a negative slope, it's a positive slope. If you look from left to right, you can see it's steep up. It's going up, not down. So that's why we have a positive slope here. So basically we're done with this one. We're able to reproduce it. Don't forget what we're doing. Keep your eyes on the ball. We want to use this form of the equation, and from there we'll get this y-intercept, and then we'll get the slope, and we'll use those 2 information to draw the graph. That's what we just did. So always remember that, okay? Okay, here is another example. We're given that. We want to put it in this form. Y is equals to mx plus b, okay? So we'll start by rearranging stuff. So we'll say 10x minus 30. We'll move the other one over. Okay? It's equals to 6y. So we can rearrange again. We have 6y is equals to, we're not rearranging, we're moving things around, and not, we're not gonna, the sign will not change. 10x minus 30, okay? And then we divide everything by 6, we get y is equals to 10 over 6x minus 30 over 6. So when you simplify, what do you get? You get 5x, it was 5 over 3, yeah? Because if you divide this by 2, you get 3, divide this by 2, you get 5. 5 over 3x minus 6 going to 30, you get 5 times, okay, minus 5. Okay, basically we got minus 5. So we got that form. So we say the slope is 5 over 3, okay? And don't forget that is rise over run. So rise is 5, run is 3. And then the y-intercept is minus 5. And that point basically is 0 minus 5, okay? That's a point we got there, 0 minus 5. Alright, because y-intercept is set x equals to 0, then you get y-intercept. Remember we did that. Okay, so with this information, then we can draw the graph. That's enough information to draw the graph, okay? So we got, let me see, we got this information here, and we got this information here. So we'll draw the graph using those 2. Let's do the Cartesian coordinate system. This is like that, x, y, okay? So what do we need? Let me see. We'll go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then what is that? Negative 5. So we get -1, -2, -3, -4, -5, -6, okay? Okay, of course you can do 1, 2, 3. Okay, so, but I think that's all the information we need. So the point given to us is this point, 0 and -5, which is right here. 0 and -5 is right here. x0 is here. That's the point we're giving here. So from that point, then we use the slope information. The rise is 5, the run is 3, all positive. So from here, rise is 5 right here. So we count 5. We say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll land at 0. Okay, and then from there we'll get run three spaces. We'll go 1, 2, 3. You see that, right? Okay, so we'll get another point right here. We got these 2 points. I'm sorry, we got this point. Sorry, not this point here. Don't worry about that point. You know, we went from here to here, then we'll continue our journey. We landed here, but this is the point we will have here. This is the point we will have here. So these 2 points here, we use it to draw the graph. So we do that. We put our ruler in it, and then we go like connect those 2 points like that. That's what we get. You see. So basically, we're done. We use the information given in the equation. We simplified in the equation to put it in this form. From there, we get the slope. With the slope, we'll have the y-intercept. Then we're able to draw the graph. That's all we just did, man. All right. So let's move on. All right. Let's look at this example. I think this may be the final example I may have for you. So we'll do this one, and then we'll leave it there. Okay. And now, see, what is our strategy? What are we trying to achieve? We are trying to, draw the graph of this equation of linear equation in 2 variables, right? We try to draw the graph, but we're gonna use the idea from here. Y is called slope-intercept form. Y equals to mx plus b. Okay, well, where this is slope and this is y-intercept. So we're gonna put this in that form. We'll put it in this form, and then we'll have enough information from this form to draw the graph. So we'll start by moving things around. Okay, we say 4y is equals to, we'll move 6x over to the other side. It becomes minus 6x plus 24. Okay, see, you do it carefully, you come up with the good information. So you divide both sides by 4, you get y equals to minus 6 over 4x plus 24 over 4. You simplify. What do you get? If you simplify, you get, basically you get minus 3 over 2 x plus 6. 4 can divide 24. You get 6 from there. So basically we'll have this minus 3 over 2x plus 6. Okay, so you compare it to this one, compare it to that one here. You compare, you will see that m is equals to minus 3 over 2, and the b is 6. And we said several times that is a point 0, 6. Okay, so we'll have this point and we'll have this information. Don't forget, rise in that information, rise is equals to minus 3, run is 2, positive 2. Okay, so then with that information we can draw the graph. We can reproduce the graph. So you start by drawing the Cartesian coordinate system. Okay, we'll draw the Cartesian. I think so. Now let me see what we're doing. We can go like that. Okay, don't forget that is x and this is y axis. Okay, and then we'll have the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, and then we'll go, let me see the direction we'll go in. We need this. We'll go negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4, negative 5. Okay, let's do a couple of here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so we first will start with the point. Sorry, let's do a couple. 6, 7. Okay, it's right here because y is 6. It's not on the x axis, it's on the y axis. 6 is right here. Let me use red pencil right here. We'll start with this point here. That's 0, 6 right there. Okay, and then from there we say rise is negative 3, so we'll count down 1, 2, 3, so we'll end up here, and then run is 2, so we'll have to go positive, so from there we'll go 1, 2, so we'll have this point here and that point here. That's all we need to draw the graph. We'll put our ruler. If you put your ruler there, you can produce graph like this. See, can produce graph like that. See, it's negative slope because we'll have negative slope here, so you can see that. So basically what we have been doing is you give us equation. In this video you give us equation, we'll put it in this form, slope-intercept form, and from there we got this point, which is a y-intercept, is right there. So once we get this point, we'll put the point on the on the Cartesian coordinate system, and then we'll use the information the slope contains. Slope says rise is -3, run is 2. You put that information there, you have 2 points. This point, okay, this point here and this point here. Then you put your ruler and draw the graph, through those 2 points. So I hope this helps you. Thanks for coming. Like I said, please subscribe to my channel, like and share this video. If you have any comments, leave it under the video, and then I will get to the comments. Okay, thanks for coming. See you in the next video.